Welcome back to the channel, folks. If you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, buckle up, because we've got a jam-packed episode with tons of juicy storylines that are going to fire up the black and gold faithful. From potential roster moves to some strong opinions on the Steelers' championship hopes, and even a little controversy involving one former wide receiver. Today's show is going to keep you locked in. Let's kick things off with a hot topic that's been floating around. Should the Pittsburgh Steelers look to trade for a young wide receiver who already has some chemistry with their new quarterback, Aaron Rodgers? That's right. We're talking about Malachi Corley, the second-year wideout who spent his rookie season with Rodgers on the New York Jets. Now, the buzz here isn't just about a random name popping up. Corley is the kind of player that fits the mold of a hard-nosed, physical Steelers receiver. He's got that thick frame at around 215 pounds, plays tough after the catch, and is already being compared to a guy like Deebo Samuel with his ability to break tackles and make plays in space. Corley's rookie year didn't exactly light up the stat sheet. In fact, he barely saw the field with just 83 offensive snaps. But if you watch him back in college at Western Kentucky, you saw a player who excelled at forcing missed tackles and getting chunk yards after the catch. That type of skill set is something Pittsburgh hasn't really had in recent years. He's built to handle screens, jet sweeps, short throws, all those manufactured touches that get your offense rolling when nothing else is working. Now, there's a bit of irony here. Even though he played with Aaron Rodgers in New York, their connection wasn't exactly electric. Actually, it was kind of non-existent. Rodgers and Corley never got on the same page last season, which naturally raises some questions. Would Rodgers even want Corley in Pittsburgh, given how things went in New York? Or would he rather reunite with someone he's more familiar with, someone like Lazard? Lazard, as we know, is Rodgers' guy. Those two had years of chemistry built up during their time in Green Bay, and they kept that connection going, at least to some extent, in New York. If we're talking about what Rodgers wants to make this offense work, Lazard might actually make more sense. He's a reliable route runner, solid in the red zone, and understands what Rodgers expects on broken plays. Plus, he's someone who could be available at a low cost. And that's where things get even more intriguing, because there's a real possibility the Steelers could land one of these guys without giving up much. We're talking maybe a 7th rounder for either Lazard or Corley. And hey, if you're dreaming big, there's also the name Romeo Dew floating out there, another former Rodgers teammate who could be pried away for a mid to late round pick. Now, let's move from speculation to something that's actually gaining traction. And that's the belief that Aaron Rodgers could truly thrive in Pittsburgh. We've heard a lot of opinions, but two voices in particular carry a ton of weight: Jake Glazer and none other than Big Ben Roethlisberger. Both recently shared their thoughts on Rodgers making the move to the Steel City. And folks, they didn't hold back. Jake Glazer called it a perfect match. He said if there was any coach besides Sean McVay that could bring out the best in Rodgers at this stage of his career, it's Mike Tomlin. And Big Ben? He echoed the same belief. According to him, Rodgers will be better this year than he was last year, not despite the Achilles injury, but because of the recovery process. And honestly, that's a huge part of this story. Rodgers might be pushing 41, but for the first time in several years, he's entering a season truly healthy. Back in 2022, he played with a broken thumb for most of the year. Then came the Achilles tear early in 2023, followed by a cascade of smaller injuries. Hamstring, knee, ankle, all while dealing with a dysfunctional Jets offense that looked like a mess from top to bottom. But now, he's had a full year to recover. He's in a stable, winning organization, and he's got weapons. Not to mention a defense that might just be the best in the league. More on that in a minute. The real optimism here in Pittsburgh isn't just about Rodgers playing decent ball. It's about him being that final missing piece that could take this team from playoff hopeful to legitimate Super Bowl threat. And no, that's not hyperbole. The belief inside the building is that Rodgers, with his elite football IQ and ability to control a game, is exactly what this team has been missing. The hope is that he won't need to put up video game numbers every week. He just needs to manage the offense, hit the right reads, and let this elite defense do its job. And speaking of that defense, let's get into some serious praise that came out recently from Pro Football Focus. According to their preseason rankings, the Steelers have the #1 defensive line in the entire National Football League. That's right, ahead of teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, Buffalo Bills, and Houston Texans. And honestly, it's hard to argue with that. When you've got TJ Watt leading the charge, and he's fully healthy, this unit is a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. Last season, when Watt was at 100%, the Steelers were dominating in the trenches. And now, they're adding a first-round pick in Derek Harmon out of Oregon to the mix? Watch out. Cam Hayward is still playing like a top-tier interior lineman. Alex Highsmith continues to be one of the most underrated edge rushers in the league, and even the rotational pieces like Nick Herbig are producing at a high level. When you look at the Pro Football Focus grades, everyone on this line is either elite or well above average. And we're not just talking about sacks here. This group is equally effective against the run and the pass, which makes it nearly impossible for offenses to get into rhythm. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are swirling around the NFL world as Allen Lazard was spotted arriving at the Pittsburgh Steelers headquarters, sparking intense speculation about a potential blockbuster signing. Sources suggest the wide receiver could be on the verge of inking a 4-year deal with the Steelers, sending fans and analysts into a frenzy trying to unpack what this move might mean for the team's offensive dynamics. Lazard, known for his reliable hands and physical style of play, has steadily built a reputation as a solid contributor in the league. His arrival in Pittsburgh could be the missing piece the Steelers have been eyeing to bolster their receiving core, which has seen plenty of ups and downs in recent seasons. While nothing is officially confirmed yet, the timing of his visit and the reported contract length have only fueled the rumors that a deal is imminent. The Steelers have long been searching for consistent weapons to support their quarterback and revitalize their passing attack. Adding a player like Lazard, who blends experience with a gritty, workmanlike approach, might signal a strategic shift aimed at elevating their aerial threat. Given his performance history, Lazard could offer the Steelers not just depth, but also a reliable target in critical moments of the game, something they've struggled with lately. Fans are already buzzing with anticipation, imagining the potential impact of Lazard lining up alongside the Steelers' existing receivers. Could this signing be the catalyst that helps Pittsburgh reclaim its offensive swagger? With a 4-year commitment rumored, it appears the Steelers' front office is thinking long-term, possibly envisioning Lazard as a foundational piece for their offense moving forward. Of course, the NFL is no stranger to last-minute changes and surprises, so the community remains cautiously optimistic, waiting for official confirmation. Still, the buzz around Lazard's arrival at the Steelers facility has quickly become one of the hottest topics in the league, with insiders closely watching for updates. As the story develops, all eyes will be on Pittsburgh to see if this rumored signing materializes into one of the more intriguing offseason moves. If true, Allen Lazard's potential 4-year stint with the Steelers could mark a pivotal moment for both the player and the franchise, setting the stage for an exciting new chapter in the city's storied football history. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.